Namaste, namaste, and good evening to all of you. My pranams. And
Namaste.
thanks to all of you for the faith in Hema Foundation, a trust without reservation. Thank you very much for being present here today. I'm so very glad to receive you all. It is such a wonderful topic that I'm given today to speak on and connect them with various subjects. So thank you very much for being with us. And in advance, let me wish you all happy Navratri Din, Are, and then you have your Diwali coming in. So festive days are ahead. And again, an occasion for all of us to keep faith. And thank you, Anita. For a change, this time I could understand quite a bit of your Hindi, probably because of the Hindi Divas.
Thank you, Amma. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And that is really good. It helped me. It helped me in getting my thoughts clarified. Okay. So the topic being faith. What is this faith? Because there is a very, very thin line of differentiation between faith and trust. So very often we interpret or interchange the word as and when we wish to speak on certain issues or topics. So let me say faith, as far as I understand, is a kind of a belief, a kind of a conviction from within you. You really don't need any kind of a proof that, and that faith you have not seen, you have not felt, but you know that it is there. That invisible kind of a trust is what you call as faith. And of course, trust is the beginning stage towards faith. So the topic title that we gave was Trust Without Reservation. So do you mean to say that there is trust with reservation? And trust without reservation. So let us say that faith is trust without reservation. You don't need an empirical proof, because no one on earth can say about faith other than you, your own internal self. We always use a sentence, we have faith in ourselves. We use always like that. That faith goes with a kind of an integrity, a kind of a confidence, a kind of a courage. So that faith builds in you like some trust without reservation. Now, trust is something you need people, two of the people, either a system and a person or two people. So you can have trust on the other. Definitely you have the trust on the other. But the person whom you are laying the trust, who is the trustee, trustee has two choices. Either to reciprocate the trust in the same measure that you give, or deviate from that. That is when he or she deviates from that, we call for a proof. Trust with proof. Trust with reservation. And we start, imagine that a newborn baby. Let's start from there. A newborn baby. All humans on earth need an anchor to hold on to something, and that is the faith. A newborn baby, we know that the mother holds the baby like this. So the hands are down and the baby is lying on the hands. Has the child seen the hands? No. But the child knows for sure that it will not be dropped. Shayad, the mother keeps the child on the bosom. The trust is there without reservation. The faith is there without reservation. We have seen parents putting the children on top, little babies on top and holding them. And we have also seen little children giggling. smiling, laughing loud. They have a faith. They have a faith in their parents, that the parents will not let them down. The parents will not drop them down. They have not seen the hands holding them, but they know for sure that the hands will not let them down. And that conviction is faith. That conviction is faith. No child on earth, when he is born, asks for a reference or asks for a realization about, oh, can I prove it, empirical proof, or anything like that. It is just pure trust. It is some kind of an intuitive feeling that is within your own mind that you trust without reservation. As and when the children grow up, that becomes a kind of a trust. When they enter into a relation, it becomes a trust, complete faith on the other partner. And when that partner does not reciprocate it, then the faith goes down. Relationships break. So faith has got something to do with our own self, our own relations, and our own, what do I say, evolved state of mind towards the Almighty. It has a, I would say, it has a spiritual connotation for faith. We can give that. So here I am going today to talk to you on how we can link the topic of faith with three subjects, namely science, math, and English. Now, when I am going to talk to you about science, there is a topic in 6th standard in science called gravity, force of gravity. And the physics teachers, the chemistry teachers, or the science teachers in general, they will know what the force of gravity is. 300 years ago, Sir Isaac Newton found out the law of gravity. He was sitting under a tree. You all know about it. He saw an apple falling down, and the apple did not go up. And that was the time he started thinking, why is it so? So the field of attraction happens to be the earth, and the object falls down, and the masses are there. The apple has a mass, the earth has a mass, and the distance also has a consideration. And he formulated the law of gravitation. All of us know about it. All right. Now, let us just for a while see a small video I would want you to see on gravity. Okay, just a small video, and then I'll come back to it. Okay, let me see 1 second. Let me share the sound also. We have all seen it. We have all learned it also.
Hey friends, have you ever wondered what keeps us floating off into space?
हेलो
Why am I going
Yes.
down after
मैम स्क्रीन शेयर करिएगा
Sorry, screen
share the
share
screen.
किया मैंने.
नो यू शेयर द पीपीटी नॉट द स्क्रीन शेयर
Screen. So you're not able to see it?
नो वी जस्ट seen the ppt not seen the video
Okay, so forget it. Let us stop.
share the link I will play share the
Huh?
link me
So
share
quite
the
simply, there is no problem at all. There's
okay
no problem at all. I can even talk about it. So, you know, what is actually happening is that when the apple fall, for example, let us take for one example. See, this is an object. Now, this object, when it is like this, when it is falling, it is because of the attraction towards the earth. Then it falls. But on the contrary, if something is holding it tight, it doesn't fall. It doesn't fall. So there are two concepts which you will have to understand. This is in control. It doesn't fall. Okay, and that force, invisible force, which is holding, it is the gravity. It is holding it. And if that is removed, then it falls down. This is how we learn and teach the students. Now, what is actually happening here is that when the object falls, it falls onto the ground and it doesn't go up. It doesn't go up. That is an attraction, the force of attraction towards the field of the earth. All right. We have similar things if we talk about when the planets are all revolving around the sun. You know, that the distance between the planet, each planet has a mass, sun has a mass. And so the distance between the sun and the planet keeps it moving in certain path. This is also law of gravity. Also, there are so many gases within the sun, and hydrogen is there, helium is there, and there is a kind of an attraction between all of them, and that makes it stable. So gravity here is bringing a kind of a stability through attraction. All right. So like, you know, the moon, we have all heard that when the moon rises, you know, the sea, the waves of the sea goes up and comes down. The attraction between the waves and the moon is again gravity. It is a kind of an invisible attraction that is happening, and between different objects, the size of the object or the shape of the object, whatever it is, it differs. The faith, the degree of faith, degree of gravity differs. And here we can say the gravity force, we can call it as an invisible force. An invisible force acting on objects. So my very dear teachers, when you are talking to the students about law of gravity, which is purely due to an attraction, pull towards each other object, and that is not seen, but it is existing, you tell them that the relationships, the faith that you have between relationships is something like the force of gravity. It cannot show up all the time. It cannot be the same between different objects. It need not be highlighted all the time, but it is there. So force of gravity or force of faith, you can say that. Faith is something like that. So this is how I would be teaching students about the value of faith. There is no necessity for a verification for this. It happens, and it will happen out of control, in control. Okay, so these are the points which you would be talking to the students. Ask the students to be in control of their faith on something, to be in control when they enter into a relation with anybody else, either in terms of friendship or any other relation. The way they have a trust on their parents, let them have that trust without even any kind of a verification. And this is what will pull us along. All right. So, and trust without a kind of a verification is always equal to faith. Now, let us see mathematics. How can we teach the students the value of faith through mathematics? You know, I have taken an example, let us say mathematics, lines and angles. You know, a line is a kind of a segment which is connecting between two dots. That is called lines. All right. And these lines, there can be straight lines, there can be zigzag lines, there can be curved lines, there can be diagonal lines, any type of lines you can have, but they all have a certain angle. Let me now show you something here. I will show something, draw here and show you here. Let us see. Are you able to see? the screen? Yeah?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Okay. See, you have a line like this. This means you have 2 points, 1 point here, another point here. You can have another line also, 2 points here. You can have this kind of a line, any kind of a line you can have. They all have. But lines, as it is, if they're remaining on the surface, nothing happens to them. I mean, they all are 2 lines or a segment between 2 points. All right. Imagine, and what about zigzag lines? These are zigzag lines. Then they go like this, zigzag lines. You also have curved lines. All right. Now, imagine that you want to construct a home. Okay. Your engineering you can take up. Your engineering aspect. You want to construct a home. Now, for constructing a home, normally we don't use curved bricks. We normally use rectangle bricks or square bricks or whatever it is. And your house will be almost like this. If I make you understand, your house will be almost like this. And just trying to make you understand how the things work here. Somewhat similar. I'm not a good drawing person. So you have a house, something like that here. Now imagine that these 2 straight lines, when they join, they have made an angle. And it is this angle that gives stability to the construction. All right? Stability to the construction. This house is on angle. Imagine that you are going to take away, okay, 1 line. Then does the house stay safe, stable? No, it doesn't stay stable at all. So here what is happening is that you have a construction. So construction of a house with lines and angles make it safe. In mathematics, this is what you are talking to them. Angles are made when 2 line segments, that is 2 straight lines, join at a particular dimension. Now, imagine, how is it connected with faith, you may ask me. How is it connected with faith? I would say, if I am a teacher like you, I would say that this house is something like a society for me. It is a society where we all live. All right? And each line is each faith. It could be a faith belonging to Christians. It could be a faith belonging to Hindus. It could be Muslims. It could be Parsis. It could be any kind of a culture or faith. Now, if they all are having together, staying together, making a particular angle, the society becomes stable, safe. But on the contrary, if any particular faith goes away, then the society is open to destruction. It is no more safe. It is not at all safe. So what we will be talking to the students when we are talking about lines, mathematical straight lines or any other lines, diagonal lines, which make a structure, a shape, we would say that something like how you would wish to construct a stable house. You need lines, you need bricks, you need walls, which are very stable, which are ready to make angles and then they make a stable structure, the house is safe to stay. Similarly, these lines can be considered the religious faith or the belief or the practices. You can define faith in any way. These lines could be any faith, any belief system, any convictions. If they are strong and they are making an angle, then the society will be safe. If not, if any one faith is deviating, because we Indians, the whole world is a house for all types of people on earth. It can even be applied to different types of people, people who are healthy, people who are not healthy, people who are poor, people who are economically advanced, people who are specially abled. So many kinds of people contribute to the society. Coexistence, co-living is a faith with certain angles. And that is how I would like to present the kind of faith that I may wish to have. An invisible kind of a structure that holds the people together. Even in a community, if you say, the faith holds the people together, it doesn't get divided. Never ever it happens. So holding the people together, holding the relations together, holding the culture together is the job of faith. And that is why we have faith. All right. And we have trust also. How is it that the country like India, with the diverse culture, we celebrate all festivals? And that is part of our culture, coexistence, and the greatest faith that we have in our own self, our human beings. All right. Now let us see how we will discuss about, I can say about faith. If I want to talk about English, English is it's a way of expressing oneself, one's thoughts, one's intentions, etc. And even those words and intentions themselves will be declaring a kind of a faith. Let me say, I would want to, suppose I am teaching from standard 4 to standard 8, you all teach something called full stop. Full stop, some people call it as period. The Americans call it as period, end of it. Okay. And some other people call it as full stop or full point, they call it. And they are the Britishers. All right. Now, it is a kind of a, full stop is a kind of a mark that you use, a full point, that a punctuation mark that you use to denote the end of a declarative sentence in English language. Okay, so say for example, I am happy. Then I always put a full stop. There is nothing beyond that. I mean, I don't have to think anything about it. I am happy means I'm happy. I am happy. All right. Then you say, I have decided to work here, period. We call it as period, end of the road. You don't think anything further. So that is the end. This full stop, very often we use as a period. Even in our conversation, we say, when there's no, you have no doubt, there is no necessity for a further debate. You're very sure about what you are talking. And so nothing else can come in way, and you will say, period, end, no, full stop. This is how we use the word full stop. Full stop, a punctuation mark. Such a small little dot is equivalent to faith when we compare it to faith? How do you inculcate value through English? I would say just that small dot decides the course of the conversation. It says end. There's no doubt further. So faith is the end of the road. You don't have to doubt about anything. Similarly, you have another punctuation mark called comma. Between two sentences, to end it, you will also use a comma. Now, comma is something which continues to give a little hope or to complete something, whereas our full stop says no. One sentence, declarative sentence, period, end of it. You don't have to think anything beyond that. So this kind of a discussion, when you do an English lesson, the students will get an understanding that faith is there, something which you may not always ask for verification. It is something, some trust, some belief, some conviction, which you have inside you. You're not able to express. You have to express if something has to be verified, but you are not able to express that. It is there. And that faith is what we have to teach our children in schools. And when they grow up, this kind of a faith is what is so very essential for them. Now, I want to close this session today by giving you a small kind of an anecdote which I have been reading, and I'm sure most of you might have come through it. There is a small thing which is related to Vivekananda, Swami Vivekananda would be talking about something. He would say that two people were walking. One is a man and the other is God on a seashore. The seashore was wet enough and they were walking. So the man enters into a conversation with God. He tells God that it is not, you have always been with me. We were traveling together all the time. But I have seen, and whenever we were walking along the seashore, I have seen two sets of footprints, one yours and other mine. But I have seen as we progressed, at some point in time, when I was going through so much of stress, so much of pain, so much of confusion, suddenly your footprints are missing. Only my footprints are seen. Why are you doing this to me, God? So the God smiles and he says, oh, my dear son, you have mistaken. Those footprints are not yours. When you were going through difficulty, I was carrying you. I was carrying you, and those are my footprints. And that is faith, that invisible faith, the hand beneath you, which carries you throughout, the kind of a feeling that you have for your parents, for your utmost trusted friends with whom you don't really require verification. That faith is the real faith. And I wish that you as educators bring into these children this wonderful value of faith, which will inculcate in them a kind of a confidence, a calmness into them, patience into them, and a kind of a realization into them to move forward. All right. And thank you very much for being with me today. God bless you. Let the faith keeps you safe. Keep you safe. Thank you.